Good morning, it's Cail. I'm going to do another little video here on my new coloring book. You can see there it's Luna, and I believe her name is Maria Trolle. I think that's what it's called. I've got my brushes now for these gel sticks, and let me go ahead and turn some tunes on because it's so quiet. Try that little song there. It's a yoga copyright-free playlist. So I did earlier, because I was testing and I didn't want to look completely incompetent while I'm recording, I tested here and here. So up here I used two colors. I might go back and touch it up a little bit more with a little bit of this darker, maybe down along the edge here. And then with the green, I actually used the smaller brush of this and a brush kind of like this, but it was smaller. So I could get into this area here. And I used a bit of water on that, so kind of playing around to see. I didn't use a lot of water. I mean, it hasn't wrinkled the page or anything. I used like so little because I was so nervous I didn't want to wreck it up. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm thinking of doing this area here. I'm trying to get more of this the gel stick stuff in first here in these bigger areas. You know, the sky, whatever this is, maybe a hedge, a hill, something. And then this field, this little meadow, whatever. And then I'll go back to using the color pencil. So I don't think I will use the brush much, except for maybe like, you know, here. Maybe when I get, well, maybe I will, when I get down in here. But I'll probably, because I don't want to get confused, is following along on these stems and these grass blades. I don't want to mess it up and put like yellow on top of it. So I sort of saw, oh Lord, somebody using just like a plastic palette little tray thing, and then just wiping it on here and then putting it on there. So I'm going to kind of do that and see how that goes. Just kind of stick it on there like that. I'm not really super experienced on this, so I'm going to be like very delicate at first to kind of figure out like how that works. They're really dry, but that's fine. And I don't know if I want to do kind of like line motion instead of circular, because up here I was doing like circular, or just like get color down. My dog is snoring. So I've been up since 3:30, and I managed to kind of rearrange my office. I spent the last couple days doing not major rearranging, but I didn't like the way that I had the monitors, because I brought in the 4K monitor for the PS5, and I was like, I don't like this. It was making me feel a little bit claustrophobic, and it's already a small enough room anyway. I mean, it used to be my daughter's bedroom, so it's not like, you know, it's a master bedroom or anything. And you know, I've got a day bed in here, and my L-shaped desk that I kind of DIY'd. using closet made shelves and some melamine tops. So I don't have, oh, and then I've got my drafting table and my purple chair, and so there's not a lot of room. Not even on the desktop. I've got 2 monitors, the fountain, what else I got? The TV, desktop. But the desktop, it's small. It's a small form factor. It's not one of those big like gamer desktops with like LED lights inside. They have them on the outside. It's kind of cool. It's an MSI. Let me see what that looks like. Yeah, just figuring out how this works. I want it to kind of be, I'm going to say dark along the edges. Gotta make a darker area without the paper moving. Seriously. Get it all along these edges. I'll go back and erase that. I think you can erase it. And then I'll have to get the brush. Now I don't know if I can use this brush dry with this. All I could do is like just try. See how that would work. So anyhow, so this morning I did a little bit of cross stitching, just a very little bit out in the living room while I was watching the news, and then came into my office, to the studio, to putter around. I couldn't really decide today, like, what to do with myself. I know that sounds funny, but I couldn't decide, like, what do I feel like doing? Because I couldn't tell, like, what I felt like doing. Because there's so many options, right? It's just one of those days. Like, some days I'm like, I'm going to cross stitch all day. Other days it's like, I'm going to finish this diamond painting. Or I'm going to color while I'm watching rerun Game of Thrones. So yeah, so, you know, sometimes it's just a little difficult for me to figure out what I want to do. So today was one of those days for it to be hard and not an easy like those other days. Okay, so now since I wonder what the smallest brush is that I have. Let me look. Ooh. Hitting stuff, tight spaces. Goodness gracious, I've got them in here. There's this one. This one's kind of skinny. Maybe this one will work. So after my husband left for work, I decided I would turn on my PS5, which I don't use very often. I know that sounds strange, but I just don't use it very often. I kind of forget about it. Well, I got it in there some. And so, because I hardly turn it on, the first thing it was like, update, system update, controller update. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I remembered that it was on wireless, so then I had to connect it to the Ethernet so the downloads wouldn't take forever. and I decided I was going to go ahead and give Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is coming out on February 29th, give that a whirl. I've never played a standard type Final Fantasy game. I've tried Final Fantasy XIV for a little bit. It was okay, I was just not very good at it. Also kind of lost. There's a lot to do, and it was a little confusing for, you know, somebody who's just a casual gamer. So I didn't play very long. So this morning I tried it out. I downloaded it, got it installed, and kind of did. They have like a story recap that you can watch. So I did that because I know really nothing about the Final Fantasy VII story. Although apparently many people love the game. And watch that, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna give this a whirl. I mean, last night I was watching some of the people's reactions to the direct, or the, what do they call it? I think PlayStation calls it like a state of play or something like that. So I sort of knew what to expect, but of course, since I don't know the controls or anything on the controller, I was a little lost. Okay, so what happens, here's where I start like kind of experimenting. So if I take, hold on, a little chunk falling off. Okay. So what happens if you take this brush, oh, my husband, you can wait. Okay, so what happens if you take this and you just put it on here directly? Probably left me a message. He always calls when I'm recording or streaming. Anyway, so I did start playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And trying to figure out the controls was hilarious. Challenging. Again, like with most typical combat situations, I tend to panic, start button mashing. I was trying to figure out how to practice the parry? I think it's a parry. I wish games had a little practice area. I think The Witcher does. The Witcher 3. I think that one might. Where you can just go practice. I think, what's the other one that does? I'm trying to think. I was just playing. What was I playing? There's some game that has like a place where you can just go practice. So I wonder if using the brush would be better. Doesn't look too bad, it just needs another color. So before I get down in here get it into the weeds, let me see what other kind of brown, orangey. Let me clean this off here. This paper towel. I'm just kind of wiping it. Just clean it off. And let that dry. So I wonder if I should just leave that kind of like as the background. And then just start putting more color down with like colored pencil. Or use another darker color here. I don't know if I have another darker yellow. Cut through the microphone stand. Because I've got these here. Alright, so that's where that yellow came out of this part. And then I've got like the blue purples. This is why I did the sky. That one. Maybe this one here. Oop. Maybe this one? Maybe use this one down here, and here with the brush. So I think if I use, let's take a closer look. This is like lemon yellow, so it's really like super light. Maybe this one? This is just regular yellow. Let's take a look at it. If I use this one. I have no idea what that's going to look like. Let's go along the top here. So it's kind of darker, maybe? It just adds like a little depth, maybe? It's just wonderful being an expert. You're like, I have no idea what I'm doing. That's all right. So practicing. So I wonder what coloring over that is like with a color pencil, because I haven't done that yet. Okay, so let's see, let me wipe this off so it doesn't really like super saturate it. Maybe what I'll need to do is buy some brushes, some better brushes. I mean, I have some brushes, but they're old. I don't even know where they came from. Maybe it might have been my mom's. I mean, I've got brushes, right? This brush looks like it's been through hell. Right? I mean, this thing is ancient. It's yellow. I don't think it's supposed to be yellow. You know, and they're just kind of all like ratty. So I'll probably have to buy a new set of brushes. Because this right here, I mean, you know, this one might work, but I don't know. I have to think about that. So let me take this off of here with a little bit of water. Just gonna wipe it out. Somebody was using baby wipes. I'll just use paper towel and water. Came out just fine. Alright, so I was going to use this big brush. I did, right? I did use it. Wait, paper towel. Come here, trusty dusty. I used it a little bit, right? Yeah. Clean it off. I did notice that they're a little on the flimsy side. I don't want to break it. Don't press too hard. Okay. Alright, let me see. Right, so I got a few things. I got another set. I got the Brute Funner oil pencils. I love them. I absolutely love them. They're so soft and it just goes on real smooth. And then I bought a, let me see, I don't know if I can pick it up. Maybe a caddy. You can see. It's bamboo and it's got all these little sections in it and it spins. So very handy, so you can just spin the thing around and get to your section. So I put all the yellows and oranges together, the pinks and the purples, and then I have one section that has these in it, and then I have one section that's just kind of miscellaneous pencils, you know, just different pencils, and the erasers and the jelly rolls for white, which I still need to test with, and then the blender pencils. Then I've got the blues in one section, the greens in another, so I can just spin it around and get to what I need. So I'm thinking maybe, I don't know if I want to mess with the sky right now, or here. I mean, I can go and take the eraser. See how well it erases off of here. So this paper is a little different than the other books that I have. It feels a little different. I don't know how to explain it. Not worse or anything, it's just different. Okay. There's that. So now what do? Do I just go down here and maybe do some stems? Middle yellowish green. And then of course, once you have all these color pencils, moss green, you have to get used to which one's which. Like what does it look like? Brilliant green. Metallic. No, I don't want to go metallic. We're just doing just clover green. Let's try that one. So then it's a matter of figuring out I'm not gonna get like super fancy, but figuring out what color you're gonna do all this in. That's always the hard part. Without stressing yourself out, because you're supposed to have you're supposed to have fun coloring, not stress yourself out, right? Let's go outside the lines. Duh. Okay, so what's this one here? Dark yellowish green. I mean, like, figuring this out is just so hard. Does this stem... Oh my gosh. Okay, let's try this out. Does this? That worked pretty well. Okay, so where this stem comes down, so you can see what I'm doing. This stem, where it comes down, is it this section here? But there's a leaf right here. Or does it just end right there? Maybe it just ends right there. Or maybe, because you can't really tell. Oh God, I hate that. I'm assuming that this one here is this one. Okay, so let's get that one. I'm just going to put this color in there. Okay. I'm just going to make them all different colors of green. And then I'll go back and do like some shading, whatever. Okay. This is a leaf right here. But it's not that. But this black line of this leaf here does not touch the end right there. But I'm assuming... I'm going to just pretend that it goes behind this leaf. So I'm going to end it there. We're just going to make that assumption because we can. We can make assumptions on this. You can't make assumptions on everything. But I'm just going to pretend like it just ends there. Anyhow, so I played the Final Fantasy game for about an hour. And then I got tired of playing it. Not because I wasn't enjoying myself, but because I just was kind of like, okay, time to go do something else. And then I went online and I found some more mods for Stardew Valley, which I'm starting to play. Let's put it that way, starting to play. And I think there might be one more. No, maybe not. There's so many mods for that game. It's amazing. I've never played a game with mods really before. I think I might have tried them once with maybe Lens Island. Which I didn't like the building system in that game. So this afternoon I'll probably try and do some gaming, just test out the mods, see how they work, see if it's enjoyable, unless my back starts hurting too much to sit here anymore. I mean, my chair is comfortable, but I've been sitting here for several hours already. Check this out. Okay, just keep track of the time. Okay, so that was that one, and this one here. I don't know how that looks. Okay, so I'm gonna try and just, that's a leaf, that's a leaf, that's a leaf. These two leaves go with this flower. Really? I don't really want to get that on there like that. Duh. Probably maybe use the blender on there. So I've got one called a full blender bright. I don't even know like what that means. Look at this thing. What does it do? Should I try? Okay, what's the difference between that and this regular one that's just a pencil blender? Let's use that one on these. I'm assuming it lays down like some wax or whatever it's made out of. Okay, I'm not sure I can tell the difference between the two, but fine. Okay, so in the center section of the carousel, I have the silvers, the grays, black. So I have those in the middle. This I do want to blend in. I don't know if that makes a difference. Yeah, I think so, maybe, yeah. What if I put a little bit of... Doesn't green and orange make like brown? What about... Obviously green and yellow make blue. What does green and pink? No, this is burnt sienna. That does not look like burnt sienna to me, but we'll just go with that. It is darker. It doesn't look darker, but I'm gonna put a little bit of that in here. You know how some grass has that kind of brown in it. Okay. So it's the blender. So I'm assuming that the way it works is that, because of course I'm not an artist, I'm not a trained artist, I'm guessing that the darker colors go in the back and not in the foreground. So I'm gonna make that assumption. Another assumption. Don't you like all the assumptions I'm doing today? That one's back here in the back. Coloring the other night, my husband, and I showed my husband, I said, what do you think? And he's like, can't you use lighter colors? I'm like, well, what I'm drawing at the moment is not lighter colors. Duh. What do you want me to do? Pastor, look, here's some light colors. I'll show him that tonight and go, look, dude, here's some light colors for you. See, light colors. And make him laugh. He's so silly. But I do love him. So this coloring book, and then I got 2 others, were part of my birthday present. So awesome. Let's see what that looks like. Not bad. What if I take a little bit of black in here? Just a little bit. This one needs more. I'm not very good with that part of things. I'll try and get better as I go along. I mean, I'm still watching videos, tutorial videos mostly. I don't really want to watch too many other people like their coloring, because I don't want to get you know, like, I'm going to do my own like ideas and color schemes. Mostly I'm just looking for like technique videos. The heat just went on. I don't know why. It's not even cold in here. So I'll probably continue on sort of like this all the way across. I might break out a little bit of marker, gel pen, whatever, and maybe some little touch-ups here and there. See what that looks like. And then I'll go ahead and continue on with the brush, kind of figure out. I have a smaller one. I have this one here. That might work better. It's a small area. And then I'll continue on. So I'm going to leave these pencils out like this, so I know like what colors I'm using. Obviously I have some other greens I can bring in there. I can do like a lighter green. Let's see. Like here, for maybe like in the front. Let's see. Maybe for like this flower. There is actually color there, it's just really light. So like that. And then maybe go over that with add a little another color in there. So I was playing some Hogwarts Legacy yesterday. Happy with that, how that's going. I know I should probably stream it, but sometimes I just don't really feel well enough. Unfortunately. The nature of the beast of getting old. Really sucks. Just go over this lightly. I know I went outside the line. I'll have to fix that. I wonder if I have a... I really do love these pencils. I do recommend them. Look at me making recommendations, but I really like them. They're really nice. What's that? The light makes it look so yellow, and the light is actually white. Now I do have a light to my left, that's the regular light bulb, but it's a white LED, so yeah. That's how it looks. Let me put the autofocus on. I always turn it off because of that motion that it does, up and down, up and down. It's really irritating. I'll turn it on here, see if that works. There you go. So you can see that all these little, there's spaces between the leaves. That's going to be this yellow. So I'll have to be careful so I don't cover up a leaf. That's why I think I'm going to do the leaves and the blades first. And then everything that's not that, I'm going to go ahead and use that yellow on it. Except for, I don't know, I can't really tell like how long her dress, you know, how far her dress goes down. I'm going to assume maybe like around here. And then everything else will be the yellow. So that's where I'm at with that one. Was working on, let me pull it out from here without knocking over anything. Let's see, is it in here? No, it's not in that one. I think it's... So I've got this Magical Dawn. That was pretty cool. I think I was working in... Ooh. And this one, Daydreams. And this is the one I was working on. That's the one that my husband was telling me, why don't you use darker colors, or lighter colors? I'm like, no, it's supposed to be dark. It's going to get lighter out towards the edges, but I want it to be dark there. He's silly. I might work on that one some more later on, because that one is, I just bring the carousel out to the living room. I'm not using a bunch of different color pencils for it yet. Just using like that one set. And then I'll go ahead and I'll leave these here, all the greens that I'm using for this. And then I can come back and just putter with it when I have a chance. So I brought this little old, I think it was made in England, old teacup, and I don't drink tea. This was from my former husband that passed away. And I'm putting the little things from when I erase in there. Or little trash or whatever. That's like my little trash can for when I'm coloring. And then I just have I think it's a shot thing. I don't know, shot measure cup. That's where I have my water. So I have those kind of just like next to me. So the area is not real big, but you know, it works. It's gonna have to work. I don't have very much space, so it's gonna have to work. So yeah, I've been going about 48 minutes, and I'm going to probably, ooh, I hit the button. Just go ahead and finish this one, get it uploaded, and then, I don't know, maybe I'll just, what time is it? Noon? Maybe I'll go in the living room and just do some cross stitch, and maybe try the game later, or whatever. Because it's been a long time. I've been up for a long time, 3:30, and I'm getting a little tired. That's part of it. It's a sunny day, but it's still a little chilly. It's not cold considering it's winter, so yeah, I can see spring's coming. I see my daffodils are like this tall already. So you can see all the blades sticking up between the rocks. So I'm hoping that it'll just stay mild, and then winter will be over. But it's Texas, so we could still have some ice, so yikes, I hope not. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it out with your friends or anybody who's interested in coloring, crafting, diamond painting, cross stitch, those sorts of things. And I will see you the next time.